Okay, we're going to talk about food processor. The main thing that I want everybody to understand is that this piece, and this piece are super expensive, right? They're made of plastic, they're not super durable, and you have to be careful with them. If you do not know how to assemble the food processor, please get one of the chefs. That's what we're here for. We'll be more than happy to show you how to do it the proper way, rather than you force it or break it. Right? One of the big mistakes that I see people make is they try to assemble it before they plug it in. I want it to be unplugged before you assemble it. That way you know you're not going to run any risk of any stored energy where you put it on and it snaps at you. We don't want any part of that. When you put the bowl on, you want to be really careful. If you look, there's a spring right here, right? There's a spring right here, and there's a little dot right here. What happens is you need to line the spring up with that dot. Common mistake people make is they'll put it on backwards. It locks in place, and then they hit the button, and they call me over and say, "Chef, it's broken. It doesn't work." You have to make sure that this little pipe is lined up with that little dot there, all right? Your blade, it's got two sharp sides. You want to make sure you treat this like you would treat a knife. You want to make sure that you respect the fact that that's sharp and that's sharp. Put it on, it fell right into place, but sometimes it'll be off. Make sure you spin it around until it falls down and it's firm and in place. The lid, now the lid, yes sir?
Are we putting the blade in with food in there or after food goes in there,
Great
Chef?
question. I like to put the blade in first. Try to put the blade in afterward. Food sits on top and the blade doesn't all go all the way to the bottom. Okay? Put the blade in first, then put your product in, right? All right, so on the lid itself, there's this white thing, and you can see it's on an angle. If you try to put it on here and it doesn't go nice and easy, don't force it. If that thing gets broken, you have to buy a whole new lid, maybe a whole new bowl if the bowl gets broken, right? So you want to lock it in place, right? And when you lock it in place, you'll see the spring go up and down, right? What happens is if that spring is not in place, it won't turn on. So we're going to turn it this way, plug it in, right? It says on button right there, just turn it on, right? Off button there, if you want to do a pulse, you can do this. Now, what I don't want to see anybody doing is I don't want to see anybody with it on, take a spoon or a rubber scraper and stick it inside the hole and try to move around the product. Don't do that. If it's sticking to the side, sometimes it'll do that. Sometimes it's not all incorporating. Turn it off, wait for the blade to stop, remove the lid, take the rubber scraper and scrape the sides, right? Do not try to push anything down with the blade moving. Do not try to use a scraper or a spatula inside of there, okay? So when you're done with it, your product is completely done. You're just gonna turn the lid, take it off, right? This can go back and the whole bowl can come off, and you're going to take the blade out very carefully. You're going to set that down and you're going to scoop all of your product out into your thing. This part, and the blade are all going to go to the dish room. You are going to wash them, run them through the dish machine, make sure they're clean. You're going to bring them back and you're going to unplug the machine. You're going to wipe down the base of the machine, make sure it's all nice and clean, and you're going to reassemble the pieces of the food processor so it's ready for the next user, all right?